Morelli, can you hear me? Probation officers.
And is the prosecutor here or?
Yes,
Here?
yes. Morelli, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make sure. We're about to do the plea on Mr. Morris.
Okay.
I was texting Ryan. Is that who's on Zoom right now?
No, it's Morelli.
Okay.
Ortiz.
I was telling you, we can still do the acknowledgements
Sure.
on the record, right? Because he was, okay, all right. Other than that, he said he signed up.
Okay, very good.
You ready, Shelby? The court will now call case number 6567, the state of Texas versus Isaiah James. Is it Morris? Is the state ready to proceed?
State's ready on.
And is the defense ready to proceed?
We're ready and we'll also waive the reading of the charging instrument.
Mr. Morris, will you please, for the record, state your name?
Say James Morris.
And sir, you are charged in 4 counts with second-degree felonies. The first count is sexual assault of a child. Second count is sexual assault of a child. Third count is indecency with a child by sexual contact. Fourth count is indecency with a child by sexual contact. Second-degree felonies are punishable by imprisonment, Constitutional Division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for a term not to exceed 20 years or less than 2 years. In addition, the court can assess a fine not to exceed $10,000. In the indictment to these charges, is your name Isaiah Morris correctly stated? And sir, your attorney states you waived the reading of that indictment. Are you a U.S. citizen? And I'm going to ask you how you plead to these charges, guilty or not guilty. Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty and for no other reason? Has anyone threatened you or coerced you or promised you something to get you to make this plea? Mr. Morris, I have in front of me a document called Felony Plea of Guilty Waiver Stipulation and Judicial Confession. In this document, you plead guilty to those 4 charges. You stipulate, well, you waive certain rights, such as the right to a trial by jury, the right to remain silent, the right to confront witnesses against you, and you stipulate that all of the evidence the state has against you is correct. Have you gone through this document with your attorney? Let's go off the record. I can't find the page with the signature on it. See, I just saw it. Hold on, let me see. If that's very bad. Very bad. Oh, there it is. We'll go back on the record. Sir, is this your signature on this document? By signing this document, are you telling the court that you fully understand everything contained in this document?
No.
And do you believe you're fully aware of the consequences of pleading guilty here today? Ms. Archer, have you consulted with your client and advised him of his rights? Do you believe him to be mentally competent?
I do believe it's competent.
And do you approve of him signing these stipulations before the court today?
I do.
Does the state concur?
State concurs.
Mr. Morris, I will approve these stipulations. And I will enter them into the court's record as state's exhibit number 1. Then, Chondo, is there a plea agreement in this case?
There is, Your Honor, in exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state has agreed to recommend to the court that the court in all 4 counts assess punishment and by deferring any finding of guilt, placing the defendant on deferred adjudication for a period of 5 years. In count 1, a $500 fine be assessed, and the remaining 3 counts, no fine be assessed. Any court costs as reflected in the bill of costs. Additionally, the defendant is going to have to register as a sex offender.
Mr. Morris, you heard the district attorney's office announce the plea agreement. Is that the agreement that you reached with her? Sir, I will follow the recommendation of the district attorney's office. And I will defer any finding of guilt at this time. And instead, I will place you on deferred adjudication, which is more commonly known as probation, for a period of 5 years. I'm going to assess that punishment in all 4 counts. In count 1, I will also order you to pay a $500 fine. What this means is that for 5 years, you need to follow all of the terms and conditions of probation. And before you leave the courthouse today, you will need to speak with a probation officer. Ms. Ortiz, will you come here to the courthouse, or should he go there to you?
If you can just send them to our office, please, Judge. We're located at 804 Northeast 4th Street.
All right, so we're Northeast 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may, let me admit what I just said. You will need to leave the courthouse and go directly to the probation office and meet with that probation officer. If you fail to do that, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. So it's very important that you do that. It's also very important that you comply with all of their terms and conditions for the next 5 years. I'm certain one of those conditions will be no contact with the victim. If you violate any of these terms and conditions, then the state can come back to me and ask that I sentence you to anything up to 20 years. And that will be solely at the court's discretion. There won't be any arguments you can make so long as they can prove the violation. Do you understand that? That means you have to report, you have to pay, you have to keep the curfew. But if you can do that, these charges will be dismissed. I'm also going to order that you register as a sex offender for the rest of your life. Do you understand that? Has your attorney gone over all of the details and exactly what that means? All right, do you have any questions about these orders?
I have a question. Change the orders. Will I be eligible for expungement? These charges.
Possibly. That would be something to discuss with your attorney after we're done here. Do you have any other questions?
No.
I did have one.
Yes.
Is he allowed to pay a court cost of mine? Installment payments, or is that all the other ones?
No, that is typically since he's on probation for 5 years, they will typically pay that out over a 5-year period. Along with other fines, no other fines, but any court costs. I don't see any other charges. There wouldn't be any lab fees. But there may be some drug tests, there may be that are required, that type of thing you can pay out over that 5-year period, plus the $60 a month probation fee. Do you have any other questions? Is there anything further from the state?
No, Judge, I have requested that, because he's on the GPS, correct? Yes, that the order, we're gonna get the order done, releasing him from the GPS. That's not a condition of this probation. And Judge, just for clarity, to make sure that this plea remains voluntary, it's my understanding you're not be entitled to an expunction, maybe a non-disclosure under the deferred, but given the nature of the offenses, he may not. If that's something that's influencing his plea, I'd like for him to be able to talk to his attorney before we adjourn, in case that's an issue. But I want to be clear on the record, I don't think he's entitled to an expunction.
And we had discussed it, and I told him, I don't know what the law will be like in the future. For right now, I didn't think this type of offense was eligible.
Do you understand that? That it may not be possible to obtain an expunction. All right, Mr. Ramirez, I need your fingerprints on his judgments. And once we get your judgments, you will be free to, as I said, go directly to the probation office. We will get these copies of these judgments to them. They'll need to go over them with you. Right, thank you for this adjourned.
If you want to send probation now, we'll get that order on the GPS and then on its way leaving probation. We could stop by what emergency management is, they change locations there where Bob's bail bonds is now, to have them take it off.
Oh, I guess I need to send them.
Sure. And then that should take care of everything for today. They're working on it right now, and we'll email it to Tommy so that we can have it for good.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
And then whenever he's ready, I'm ready. Okay. 3 o'clock. Okay.
Okay,
All right. I told him just to e-file without the stuff on it.
perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, she can do that as we go through that plea,
Okay,
for that matter.
very good. All right,
Thank
thanks.
you. Katie, did you hear that?
His plea. Is that what you're talking-
Hobby Brunken at 3.
Oh, okay, somebody will be on.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
Somebody,
Are you in there with the judge?
I am. She's right
Quick,
here.
quick question. Can y'all fill me in about the girl? I guess that you called me about Thursday.
Oh, yes, I put her in jail as a condition of her probation for 5 days. So
Okay.
she couldn't get out today, but I told her that one of you would go by and talk to her about probation. You know, Clayton, I talked to Clayton about this. It sounded like he was very familiar with it.
Okay,
Kyle did get me a copy of the order, the decree on Friday, and it's been e-filed in her case.
okay. I'll
Is there
see.
anything else you need to know?
No, I was just checking to see on an order. I'm assuming it was that like they did a probation judgment, I'm guessing.
I don't remember. I did, the judgment did have the fact that she's on probation for 2 years. In that 2-year period, she's got to pay out the past due child support as it states in that order.
Okay,
You know, as to what other conditions there will be. I mean, this is the first time I've done this. It's actually surprisingly the first time Kyle has done it. It just seemed to make sense to me to have her report and to have her know that if she doesn't pay her child support, she goes to jail for 6 months.
okay. So do you know where she lives at?
She lives in Clayton, New Mexico.
Okay, then she'll report here. What if she doesn't pay every month? What do you want me to do?
I want you to make it really clear to her that if she doesn't pay, she's going to jail for 6 months. So if
Okay.
she doesn't pay, I mean, truthfully, you might give her one chance and
Okay.
then let me know and I'll, that order is suspended, I'll enforce that order.
Okay.
Okay, you know, as far as the other stuff like curfew, I mean, I really don't care about that. You
Okay.
might ask Clayton what he did in other family cases.
Okay. I'll talk to him and see.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
These ones are not now, so she can give it to him. too.
Will the next plea be at 3 o'clock?